Hello and welcome to the SharePoint 2016 End User Training. My name is Dipti Chatrapati and I am Senior SharePoint Consultant. You can find me on my blog insightrun.com or follow me on Twitter at Deeps84. While working for SharePoint based products for many years, I have realized that end user training is more significant for business success. Many business users or information workers think that we do not require training on SharePoint. We can access everything on SharePoint just like a Facebook or Microsoft Word. However, SharePoint, just like a Microsoft Word and Facebook, offers many more functions beneath the surface. In fact, SharePoint can do more, while it hides a lot of its functionality away in menus and screens that most users don't see. If we consider a high level view, the typical SharePoint contains three major components: planning, implementation, and ongoing management. So, end user can face many common issues that can arise during and after rollout of a SharePoint application, such as lack of a clear vision, inadequate support from senior management, insufficient resources, lack of training support for end users, etc. Moreover, in order for SharePoint to be a success in your business, your end users need to be motivated to use SharePoint for collaboration instead of mass emails, shared folders, and other technologies. Because user adoption is the key. And therefore, I have decided to create a series of videos for SharePoint end users covering training on basic concepts of SharePoint. I hope this will be helpful for your organization, business, and end users. Why, as end user, you require training? There are five main reasons. First, SharePoint is not a file system. We all have idea about SharePoint is that it's a document management system. However, the fact is it's not just that but much more, and it doesn't have very familiar UI for many operations, and there end user requires training. Secondly, neither it's easy. Certainly, it is not easy and it was never meant to be. It's a complex piece of components that completely changes all we know about content sharing and collaboration. Therefore, you require to reduce these challenge and be more comfortable with the new SharePoint. Then there are many ways to perform same operations. That's the truth. Yes, if you want to, let's say, share a document externally, there is at least 5 ways to do it in SharePoint. You need to understand how to navigate around the site and know the functions of the buttons or links on the page or actions on the ribbon bar, etc. And then it gives you a power. How? Because SharePoint can do much more. You can download a document, you can upload it, you can check it out, you can check it back in, revert to the previous version control, promote document for approval, share the document externally, and the list just goes on. And finally, we do not like change. Yes, that's obvious. Human beings don't like changes in life. People do what they do for years. They get comfortable with day-to-day activities and SharePoint can drive them away. And therefore, you as and you asked to know how SharePoint will help solving your procedural problems during managing the content in SharePoint. Let's have a look what this SharePoint end user training course contains. This SharePoint 2016 end user training course is for end users and information workers working in a SharePoint 2016 environment. The course teaches SharePoint's basics such as working with lists and libraries as well as the basic page customizations. So the list modules are Module 1, SharePoint 2016 Introduction, Module 2, SharePoint List Basics, Module 3, Library Basics, Module 4, Working with List and Library Views, Module 5, Working with Sites, Module 6, Page Content, Module 7, Forms Library, Module 8, Site Columns and Content Types, Module 9, Office Integration, Module 10, Managing SharePoint Site Permissions, and Module 11, Participating in User Communities. And at the end of this training, you will learn navigating the SharePoint 2016 team site, creating SharePoint list, customizing SharePoint list, creating SharePoint libraries, managing library document versions, creating SharePoint list and library views, creating subsites using various SharePoint templates, creating and editing web page content, creating infopath forms and form libraries, creating site columns and content types, integrating Office applications with SharePoint 2016, and managing basic permissions of SharePoint 2016 resources. That was all about the overview of this training course. Thank you for joining me. See you in the first module.